welcome to another Checiegirl Creations video. So today I'll be doing an abstract painting in watercolor using my new paintbrush I got off of Aliexpress. I will link it down below if you're interested in getting it too. This isn't a review, this is just pretty much a kind of first impressions video, just me kind of like experimenting and seeing how versatile it is. And I'm not too sure like the name of the brand, but I did show it up on camera and it says Art Brush China on it, and it's a size 8. This was the biggest one on the listing, and it came in a really nice like hard plastic tube, and it came with one on top of the paintbrush and then one for like to fit the whole paintbrush in it. Now I won't be using the smaller one that goes on top of the paintbrush because now that I've used it, it's a bit like the bristles have expanded. Because when I first got the brush, it was like the bristles were hard. That's probably because it's been coated in something like to protect it while it's like not being used and shipping and stuff. So when you first get this brush, and most brushes, you do want to rinse it in just some clean water until it becomes nice and soft, and then you can use it because there tends to be some coating on the bristles. So I won't be using that small one, but I will definitely keep the big tube for whenever I need to travel with this brush because it's perfect to protect it, which meant it was also really safe in shipping. So I was really impressed by that. The shipping was pretty fast, and I didn't have any issues with the seller at all, so it was really good. And I might even get, because there's 8 sizes on the listing, so I might even get more like in the future, like in different sizes, because I did quite enjoy using this brush. So it's floppier than the other watercolor brushes I use. The other ones are the Hobbycraft brushes. I'll link the video where I review those, and those are a lot stiffer, but this one is a very floppy. It's quite big as well. When I show you up in the close-up, it's a very big brush, and it holds a lot of water, loads of water, which is great for like whenever I want to do washes and stuff. So I really like the fact that it holds so much water. And yeah, so I will do a review like in the future. Once I like to use something for quite a while before I do a review, but at the moment, first impressions, I find it's great. It's not dropping any bristles, which is awesome. It dropped a few when I first used it, which I tend to expect, but it hasn't dropped any since, so that's really good. I like it when a brush doesn't drop bristles. And yeah, so first impressions, I really like it, and I'll make sure and link that down below. And it was also like, because it was so cheap on Aliexpress, I thought I would give it a go, so it was a really good deal. So I'll be using my Winsor Cotman watercolors as usual. I don't know if you can see right now, but I did finish a couple of my colors, and I had bought another Winsor Cotman set just to refill the half pans because I am saving up for professional watercolors. But I needed to make sure I didn't run out of any of my Cotman watercolors beforehand. And I didn't really want to buy different watercolors because I knew how to work with these. So I just got another set. So I just washed out the old half pans and I put those aside because you never know when I might need like an extra half pan. And I just replaced it in. So I made sure that like the section was all nice and clean. And I just replaced it with a new half pan. So I finished the white, the sap green, and the alizarin crimson. And the lemon yellow and ultramarine look like they're ready to go soon as well. So I thought I would just mention that. And the color palette I'll be using for this abstract painting is warm. The colors I ended up using were ultramarine, yellow ochre, cadmium red pale hue, sap green with the colors, and then at one point I did mix like a kind of a black dark color, which I mixed with cadmium red, yellow ochre, and ultramarine. Whenever you want to make like black or like a really dark brown, but you don't want it to be too stark, you just mix the colors you've used already, and that will create a brown or a black or like something close to it. So those are the colors I used. I didn't really plan out the colors beforehand. I just knew I wanted to use a warm color palette, so I swatched it all out in my sketchbook, all the warm colors I had. I even like mixed the warm primary colors together to like see what the greens, purple, and oranges would look like, just in case I wanted to use those. And as I went through the painting, I added colors like as I saw fit. It was very intuitive. So yeah, To be honest, I'm not great at abstract painting. I always get a little bit confused. I'm never really too sure how much details to put in, or when to stop, or when it is finished. So choosing a warm color palette was probably not the best idea because I'm not used to working with warm colors. I tend to gravitate to cool colors, but I just really felt like doing a warm color palette, so I chose that. So there was a bit of an extra challenge. I was using a new paintbrush, a color palette I'm not used to, and then doing an abstract painting, which I'm also not used to. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. And like as I was using it, I saw that the brush was quite versatile, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. The paper I'll be using is by Rowney. It's 300 GSM cold pressed watercolor paper, A4 size. I do like this paper. It does still warp quite a bit, but I like it. I do like it. And I thought I would use a bigger sheet of paper because I wanted to be able to be quite loose with my strokes, and I thought a big piece of paper would be better than like a small one because I'll be a little bit more like confined. And I'm glad I did choose to have a bigger piece of paper because that really helped. I was able to be a lot looser and do much like quicker, larger strokes, so that was cool. So yeah, when I think as well, even when you're being like abstract, I do find I work better on a bigger piece of paper when I'm like being a lot looser than a smaller piece of paper. So that's why I chose that paper. That's one of my like better quality papers that I have. The rest tend to be a little bit more like on the cheaper side. And yeah, so as I was like doing the illustration, I first started off with like a big blue like swipe of color. I'm not too sure if you're seeing that yet. I think you probably have. And I thought while I was doing this, I would kind of have things like mirroring each other. So I was either going to work in 3s or like 2s and have things mirrored, but I didn't want it to be like symmetrical. So I started off with like a big swoosh of like ultramarine. And then I went with like a smaller one across it. And I was kind of like adding points to like different sections of the painting because I do show at some point that the paintbrush does come to a really nice fine point. It's really good. It's great to create like nice versatile strokes. I was able to make like big strokes, smaller strokes, a little bit more detailed. So that was really nice. I do have to get used to though how much water it holds because a couple times it did just kind of like drop water on my paper, but I think that's just me not being aware of how much water it holds, and I think the more I practice the better I'll become at that and the less mistakes I'll make. But I was just able to dab up those drops, so it wasn't too bad. So yeah, I started off with like the blue swooshes and then I added some yellow ochre swipes. I was going for quite like a organic look for this. I didn't really want it to have too many like harsh lines or anything. I wanted it to be kind of organic, so like not thinking too hard about it. So I did like 3 big swooshes like on one side and 2 smaller ones going off the other side, again mirroring it. And then I also added some like cadmium red to like the top and the bottom, but slightly different, but still kind of the same kinds of shapes. And then, so the ultramarine and the yellow ochre are quite dull colors, and then the cadmium red is quite a bright color, and I wanted another bright color, so I decided to put some sap green in, because I already had like the primaries there, so I thought I would add like a secondary color. And I just used the kind of the tip of the brush to kind of just smush down the tip of the brush to make these kind of teardrop shapes. And I really like the shape that that paintbrush makes when I like do that technique. It's really pretty. So that was really nice to add those like sap green kind of teardrop leaf kind of looking shapes. And then I just kept on layering up. I added a couple layers of yellow ochre to those like swipes. I added quite a few layers of the blue. I find that ultramarine, it takes a while to layer up to a dark color. Oh, and I also really liked how the ultramarine was granulating too. Ultramarine is a granulating color, which means that it dries with a bit of a texture to it. So that's quite nice about ultramarine. So I just kept on adding more layers. I added quite a few layers on the ultramarine, and whenever I wanted to be quite dark, I would pick up a lot of color with my paintbrush and then just drop in the color just by kind of dabbing the wet area, and then it should spread out quite nicely. And I did the same with the green and the red areas until I was happy with it. And once I did that, I mixed all the colors together, minus the green. I didn't have to mix the green. I had 3 primary colors, and that would be perfect to create a muddy or black color. And once I did that, I also made a couple test pieces in my sketchbook just to kind of figure out how I wanted to add detail without having to go straight onto the illustration. And once I did that, I went in and added all the dark details, so that it would be like a lot more grounded, and that started to look a lot better. And once I had added all those dark details, just kind of doodling over the piece, really. I had to be quite steady, but I was still able to get quite small strokes with the big brush. And once I did that, I went in and added some white highlights and details with some Royal Talens gouache, white gouache. All materials will be listed below as always. So I use that to add the white details. I use a Rowney rigger brush in size 1 for that, because I did want to be quite small details. And I also do use a size 6 Hobbycraft paintbrush in some areas, and as well to kind of create that teardrop shape. So because the big paintbrush was a bit too big for those areas, and I wanted some shine, I really wanted to use gold, so I used the Winsor Calligraphy ink in gold to go in and just add some shine in different areas. I added the gold over the black so it would stand out a lot more. Metallics do tend to stand out on darker surfaces, so I added it over the black details, and that was really pretty, and I really liked how that looked. And after I was finished with that, I signed it. So I did want to very quickly mention, I don't know if I've mentioned it yet on YouTube, but I will be taking a break from videos on YouTube and Patreon from October onwards. So this is the last video of the year. And the reason I'm taking a break is I want to figure out, I'm not happy with how my channel and Patreon are looking, especially my channel. Kind of bored with the videos I'm making, and I want to figure out how to make the videos more interesting for me to make, and as well more interesting for you guys to watch, because I feel as if I'm just making the same kind of video over and over again. So I'll be taking a break from videos for the rest of the year, and I will be returning in the new year with a new video schedule on YouTube, and my Patreon page will also look different. I really want to start bringing out merch, so I'll be using this time to research, get my printer and everything, so that everything will be ready for next year. I could do merch on Patreon, and I can also add stickers and stuff to my online shop, and my YouTube videos will hopefully be a lot more interesting for you guys to watch. And yeah, so I thought I would just mention that really quickly, that I will be taking a break. I hope you guys don't mind. It feels really weird that I won't be making videos for the rest of the year. Yeah, it feels really weird saying I'm definitely going to take a break now. It's very odd, but I will definitely be back. Don't worry, I will be back for sure in the new year, and I won't be completely disappearing. I'll still be on Instagram and Facebook. Anything that I create, I'll still post on social media. So if you don't already follow me on my social media pages, please do, if you want to continue to keep track of what I'm doing over this video break. And all my social media links are down below in the description. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, if you do want to see any future videos from me, since I will definitely be returning to YouTube. And click that notification bell so that when I do return, you'll be notified. Though of course I will announce it on my social media pages. And yeah, so I hope you guys don't mind. I want to thank you all for your support throughout this year, and however long you've been watching my videos, as well as to my patrons. They've helped me a lot with being able to save up for the printer I want to get, and the watercolors I want to get later on as well. So thank you to them as well for supporting me a little bit extra, and I hope they will enjoy the changes I make to Patreon as well. So yeah, I just want to thank you all for sticking with me for all these months or years or however long you've been around, and I will definitely be back, and I will definitely miss making videos for you guys. It's going to be really weird, but I will still stay on Instagram and Facebook and keep you guys updated with things I'm doing. I'll probably be posting a bit more on like my Insta stories of like me researching things, so like just to let you guys know like what's going on behind the scenes. So I will still have that stuff up on my Instagram and my Insta stories and stuff like that. So yeah, I will be taking a break, but I will definitely for sure be coming back. So please do click that subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to see any future videos from me in the coming year. So let me see, anything else to say about the illustration? I really did enjoy doing it. I don't know if it's finished. I mean, let me know what you think in the comments below, because I quite like how it turned out. I thought it was pretty cool. I like to use my abstract paintings as like my lock screen or something, so that might be my new lock screen. And I think once I get my like scanner and printer, it'd be really cool to like put that up on Redbubble, because it just looks like a fun design to have like on a notebook cover or something. So let me know what you think. Do you think it like looks really good? Do you think I could have added more? Let me know. But I really enjoyed like playing around with this new paintbrush. That was really fun. Seeing how versatile it was is really nice, which is why I might get different sizes of it, because it's a lot floppier than my other brushes, and that's why I got it, because I find when I use a stiffer brush, it's really hard for me to stay loose, especially when I'm trying to like experiment with abstract paintings. But this looser brush, like this floppier looser brush, was great to keep me loose and my strokes loose. So yeah, I really enjoyed using it, and it was great, and I look forward to like experimenting with it, like, you know, in the future and stuff. Now at some point I do show you like a couple backgrounds that I made in my sketchbook, kind of like closer to the end of the video, and on that background I did use watercolors, and I also splashed a lot with it. Splashing with this paintbrush is really fun, and I didn't think it would call for that for the illustration, which is why I didn't do it. But yeah, splashing with this paintbrush is super fun. So I think I'll definitely play with that in future illustrations when I use this paintbrush, because the splashes are awesome, nice and big, and like, yeah, really nice. I can't get that with my other paintbrushes, so that was really fun to play with. And yeah, oh, I did forget to mention that I do use a Boldmere like detail brush for the gold, because I wanted the gold details to be very fine, and not to cover up everything too much. So I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. I really enjoyed the paintbrush as a first impressions. I'm really enjoying it, and I will link that down below. I really do like how the abstract illustration turned out. I'm never too sure how things are going, but when it comes to abstract painting, it's really tricky. And I know I probably won't stick to it, but I do like to play around with abstract paintings every now and again. But I think it turned out pretty good, and I enjoyed playing with it. And I definitely will do more abstract paintings with this paintbrush. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do give my video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know like what you think in the comments below, and if you have any like tips on like how to finish an abstract piece, please do pop it down below for like any of us who aren't as used to like creating in abstract. Yeah, I think that's it. So thanks again for watching. Gosh, I was just about to say see you next week, but that's not going to happen. It's very weird. So I will see you guys in the new year. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the year. Please do follow me on Instagram and Facebook to keep up with what I'm doing for the rest of the year. And yeah, I think that's it. So thanks again for watching. I will see you guys in the new year. Bye.